Hello everyone, it's me, DillysSims. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Speed Build Sunday, that day of the week where I build whatever I want, because I can. So, clearly by the title, you already know what you clicked on, what you're gonna watch. So I created my version of the North Pole. Originally I was gonna call it Christmas Village, but then as it continued going on, it's the North Pole. I have Santa's workshop. Santa's house is this big structure that we're currently creating right now. I thought it would be really interesting to have octagonal rooms on the sides of the building, because usually when you see a building like that, it's like one large rectangle followed by two smaller rectangles. So I decided the octagonal room would look really, really cool. So in this structure that we have currently, we put Santa's bedroom, Santa's master suite, the little elf workshop, dining room, kitchen, Santa's office, and oh, this build, if you do not like Christmas, this is definitely not for you. This build is decked out with a whole bunch of Christmas stuff. Every single room has Christmas stuff. It is OTT, over the top Christmas. And those houses on the sides, they're all structured the same, and they don't, on the outside it's red with green windows and doors, and then inside, okay, so like the red houses, the inside has green furniture. Or is it green furniture? No, wait. I don't remember anymore. It's okay, so like the red houses have green walls and red furniture, and the red house, no wait, and the green houses have red walls and green furniture. Did I just say that? I don't know, I'm getting myself way too confused. I should stop talking about it. But yes, the opposite wall color inside the house. There you go. I'm making myself sound so stupid. Whew. How are you guys doing? Are you guys doing good? Good. This video, Christmas falls on Monday, so what do you guys plan on doing? Because this video is going to come out right before Christmas. This is not like this is my only Christmas special build. As much as I love Christmas, I do have like a list of items that I want to make, of builds that I want to make. So I'm also working on another really, really big, large build. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know, maybe because I like to torture myself. Because the last build that I created was a Kris Jenner's mansion from, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And that took me several days. And I had to create smaller builds in the meantime to make up for all of the builds I'm gonna be missing. And and as you know, the closer it gets to Christmas, the busier your life gets, usually. I don't know your life, I cannot speak for you, but with me specifically, it's so much work. My house is so much work. Not just my house, my life is so much work. I was so happy when finals were over. I actually haven't checked my grades yet, which I probably should, but I was so happy when finals came to an end, because I was like, I'm gonna have so much free time to do all of these things and work on videos. I'm never gonna miss an upload again. That was the biggest lie I've ever told myself, because I keep missing uploads. Right now, I've been uploading twice on my channel. I've actually cut videos out of my channel completely because the viewer count is so low. I decided, what's the point of working on a video if that series isn't doing well? So yeah, I had cut back on videos, but with the amount of craziness, working 40 hours a week at my job, and then getting together with like friends and family that I do not see because of school and work. I played Santa Claus, and I went to my friends' houses, I delivered Christmas gifts, and they were so shocked to see that I wasn't at work, but It's, Christmas parties. I feel like I have Christmas parties all the time. It's, you guys probably know what I'm talking about. I can't imagine that people do not have, I'm making myself sound really stupid right now. I can't imagine that people aren't as busy as I am. But watch, probably somebody in the comment section is gonna be like, my life is so easy, DillysSims. Which, I am so jealous of you if your life is that easy. But right now, and I keep telling myself, it'll slow down. But I know that's just a nice little lie that I tell myself to make myself feel better, because it never slows down. I keep telling myself, oh, January is gonna come around, it's gonna slow down. We'll see. I don't have the schedule out for January for work, but I can't imagine it's gonna slow down. I hope it does, because I need, like, time to work on my favorite thing, The Sims. Ooh, okay. Nope. So I have New Year's Eve off, or New Year's off. I work on New Year's Eve. And then I work Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 4 days? Yeah. My life never slows down, especially at work. I would really love it if I slowed down at work. Mostly because I don't really like my job. And, like, it doesn't make me feel good to go to work. And I know this is, like, that sounds probably so spoiled and selfish of me, but I just really want to stay home and play The Sims. That's all I want to do, is just play The Sims all day long. But with work lately and school, and school's gonna start back up in January, I want to take a trip. And before I go back to school, I really want to take a trip. And when I say take a trip, I mean just like maybe 4 days. And I don't mean to the Bahamas or anything like that. I just want to take a trip to maybe San Francisco for a few days, like 4 days. It doesn't have to be anything like ridiculous. And I live 2 hours away from San Francisco. That's with good traffic. So it's not like I want to go anywhere too far away. I just want time to recuperate from working so much. And I know there are people in the comment section below who are gonna say, hey, 40 hours is average for a full-time employee. I know, but I'm not a full-time employee. I'm supposedly part-time. Supposedly. I stress supposedly. I'm supposedly part-time, and I'm not getting paid, full-time hours. Because full-time hours, or full-time money. I do get paid full-time hours. I get paid for 40 hours, but it's not at, like, somebody who gets paid a full-time wage. Does that make sense? I shouldn't be talking about money, because we're here to talk about Christmas. Sorry, I'm gonna cut the money work now. I'm gonna talk about Christmas. And you know what? I'm gonna continue talking about work. I lied. I have stories to tell you guys, because I work in retail. I sell a lot of stuff. I just realized this video, just like my previous videos lately, is out of order. And I was arranging the film, and I thought, this is gonna be so good. It's in order. No. What's wrong with me? But where am I? Talking about work. Okay. I sell a lot of stuff at my work. And we have gift boxes where I work. And many of the gift boxes include cheese. Everybody knows what cheese is, right? Okay? I have sometimes lately have had, I don't want to say dumb, but not the brightest cookie in the crayon box customers who come up to me and ask me very, like, simple, ridiculous answers that are kind of no-brainers, you know? So, just the other day, again, these boxes have cheese in them. I had a customer ask me, do you have to refrigerate it? First of all, the box says, keep refrigerated. So, it's cheese, second of all, so do not refrigerate cheese. I understand if it's dry, but Monterey Jack, cheddar, all the basic cheese that you would buy in the store in the refrigerated section is in those boxes. So why would you not keep it refrigerated? And I looked at the customer and I said, well, cheese is good for about 8 hours, not refrigerated at room temperature. And he looked at me, and after I said this in plain English, he looked at me and he said, okay, so does that mean I have to keep it refrigerated? And I said, yes. After 8 hours, you should probably refrigerate it. It's good for maybe 8 hours unrefrigerated. And he said, oh, okay. And then, literally the next day, I had this nice, really sweet. I am not attacking these people because they're not like nice people. They're really nice people. But this sweet little Asian lady asked me if cheese needs to be refrigerated. Oh, no. I'm sorry, I lied. So again, cheese should not be left not refrigerated. But she asked me, how many days can cheese go without being refrigerated? Again, unless it's dry, because if it's dry, you don't need to refrigerate it. But she was holding up cheddar, like a block of cheddar that you find in any supermarket in the refrigerated section. And she asked me, how many days can this go without being refrigerated? Okay. And I told her 8 hours. And she said, oh, 8 hours? And I said, yes. And then she put it back really quick. I don't understand. I feel like it's common, maybe it's just me. I'm gonna say maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because of where I live and the job that I have that I know a lot about cheese. Maybe I'll try to chop it up to that. But if not, doesn't everybody keep their cheese refrigerated? Isn't that like normal? And why are people asking me these questions if they're normal? Like, if everybody else does it? I'm just very confused. If you guys can shine some light on that subject, feel free to, because I'm like mind boggled that people ask me if cheese should be refrigerated. It's like asking, should I keep milk refrigerated? Or half and half, or whipped cream. It all comes from the refrigerated aisle in the grocery store, so why would you not go home and refrigerate it? Especially if it says keep refrigerated. I don't understand. Of course, I'm not like, duh, at the customer. I'm never mean to the customer. Ever. Because I understand that there will be a time where I will ask a question in a grocery store or in any store, and people will respond to me with a duh. I know that time will come, and because of that, I will actively do my best not to make the customer feel stupid, because I don't want somebody to make me feel stupid. But speaking of which, there is a girl who is at work. She is blatantly disrespectful to customers, and it bothers me, like a lot. And it's so strange that she's never been in trouble for it, but I have seen her be blatantly disrespectful to customers, like people who are giving us money. A customer came up and bought a few items, came up to the register. I watched this happen. Come up to the register. The customer put the items on the counter. She rang. It was like 2 items. Okay? And the customer, she was done ringing up the customer, and the customer said, oh, can I have a bag? And she looked at the customer and said, really? Because I get it, it's 2 items that you could easily carry, but why would you say that to a customer? She asked the customer, really? No, if the customer says, I want a bag, you're gonna give that customer a bag, because that customer is giving you money that's paying your rent or whatever your situation may be. Okay? sometimes I feel like that is the type of customer service that you get in a other country, because like my family's from the Azores. That is the type of customer service I get when I go to the Azores. Like, sales assistants speak to you that way, which really bothers me and is one reason why I really don't like going to the Azores, because the customer service is awful. But here, when that's like, I feel like any person who works at all in customer service has heard the phrase, the customer's always right. Even if you don't work in any customer service, you have heard the term, the customer's always right. I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. And it's not the first time that she's said that, and it really bothers me because she's not getting in trouble for it. And maybe I'm making much ado about nothing, but it really bothers me. This is the same employee that told a customer we don't have shopping bags, even though the shopping bags were sitting there on the counter. I'm pretty sure I told that story before. But if not, I'm gonna tell it again. So, I don't know what this girl is, or what I don't know what this girl is. That was stupid. I don't know what the problem this girl has. Wait, that wasn't even correct English. I don't know why this girl has such a problem against bags, but okay, so a customer came up to the register, put all the stuff down, and so she rang up the customer, and the customer said, "Oh, do you have a bag?" And she looked around for a plastic bag, and she found a plastic bag, and the customer said, "Oh, don't you have paper bags?" The paper bags were sitting there on the counter in a basket. Okay? Like, right in the like, if the customer just, like, moved her hand to the left a little bit, she would have touched the basket. It was right there. She looked at the customer and said, "No, we sold out of them. We ran out of them," even though they were right there sitting on the counter next to the customer. And I watched that entire interaction. I was gonna help the customer and her. I was gonna offer up the paper bags up until I heard her say, "No, we just ran out of them." And that's when I stopped, because I was about to open my mouth and say, "Oh, here's some paper bags." But no. And it's just ridiculous, the amount of, like, sass and ridiculousness that comes out of this girl's mouth. I can't even handle it sometimes. I walk to the back and I have to take a breather, because I'm like, did she really just say that? I watched her tell a customer that the customer was rude. It was... Oh, I couldn't... And it was like under her breath, so I get it, she didn't actually say it to the customer, but it was like under her breath in front of the customer. It wasn't like the customer left the store and she was like, "Oh, that customer's so rude." She, under her breath, I don't know if the customer heard, but I heard. I was standing next to her and I heard. Because the customer gave her just like a little bit of like sass, but like me, gay sass, you know? It wasn't like mean sass. And she was like, "That's rude." I'm like, why is this not happening? Why is nothing happening about this? And I've told, like, leads, and, like, I've heard leads tell my manager and assistant manager what's going on, and nothing's happening. I don't know. All I know is that it really, really bothers me, and nobody's doing anything about it. And you guys are probably listening to me, like, gossip about this coworker, and you guys are like, "Dilly, calm down." But it really bothers me. It really bothers me so much. Like, my entire life so far, all my job. Actually, I've only had one job, two jobs, three technically, but one of them's a teacher. So I've technically only had two jobs in my life, and both of them have been customer service. And never would I ever think about speaking to a customer that way, because I want their money. And, like, again, I should be talking about Christmas stuff, but I can't. I'm so shook right now. I should have never opened up this chapter. What should I call her? I want to call her a name. I want to name her something that's not mean, but is not another, like, coworker's name. Not my sister's names. What should I name her? The Caitlin stories. Oh my gosh, let's name her Caitlin. Again, I don't know if I've told the story before, told any stories about her, but now I'm rebranding her Caitlin. If I gave her a fake name previously, her name is now Caitlin. These Caitlin chronicles are bothering me, and I will keep you updated with anything Caitlin does, because Caitlin really... Actually, did I tell you... I don't know if I should talk about this. No, I should talk about Christmas in this. I only have a few more minutes, so I'm going to talk about Christmas. I'm just going to say, Caitlin has also said something really disrespectful to one of my friends, but I'll say that too from the next video. I haven't talked about Christmas like once. So what are you guys doing for Christmas? I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section below. This is what my Christmas is going to consist of, because it's always the same. So, I'm gonna wake up, and I work Christmas Eve. I work catering for, my bosses, but I'll talk about that after it's done. I'll tell you about my whole experience catering for my bosses. But, so Christmas, I'm gonna wake up. This is what I think is gonna happen, and it's happened every year, so this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wake up, and my family's gonna wake up, and instead of opening gifts like any normal family, my parents are gonna force us to go to church. And that's fine, go to church. If you believe, more power to you. I'm not gonna go into like my personal religious beliefs, because this channel is not about that. But my parents are gonna make us go to church instead of opening gifts first, and then we're gonna come back home, and then we're gonna open gifts. Oh, we're gonna go visit my grandma too. And then we're gonna go pick up my grandma, bring her back over to my house. We're gonna eat with her, and then she's gonna complain that she really wants to go home so she can go back to sleep, because that's all grandma does, is sleep. And then after we're done opening our gifts and saying, thank you, Mom and Dad, thank you, Kelly and Julie. Oops. No, I've said my sisters' names before on this channel. Thank you, my sisters. And then what's gonna happen is we're probably gonna watch a movie, get into a huge family argument, somebody's probably gonna cry, and then we're gonna go to our own separate rooms, and then do our thing for the rest of the day. Probably watch another movie, eat dinner whenever, eat leftovers, and that's my whole Christmas in a nutshell. And what's funny is, I thought my family was the only family that does like the whole fighting on Christmas. And what's interesting is, I was talking to my coworker, and my coworker asked me, so what are you doing for Christmas, Dylan? Or the DillysSims. And I said, well, thank you for asking. And I told her the same thing. I'm gonna wake up, go to church, get in a fight with my family. And she looked at me and she said, oh, I thought only my family got into fights on Christmas. And that made me feel so much better, because I always thought my family's just super dysfunctional and no normal family gets into fights on Christmas. But no. Thank you, my coworker, who I will remain nameless. Thank you so much for making me feel normal about my Christmas traditions, getting into fights and arguments with my family. Which, I love my family, but we fight a lot. Like, a lot. But you know what? That's okay. Some people go Christmas caroling. Some people bake cookies on Christmas. My family just gets enough arguments and fights. Totally normal and okay. I'm totally mainstream nowadays. Am I right? Anyways, I'm getting close to the end of the video. Let me know what you think of this build. Oh, before I forget, I now have an Instagram. And you can follow me. My link's in the description. It's Dilly Apollinario, D-I-L-L-Y, Apollinario, A-P-O-L-I-N-A-R-I-O. That's both my Snapchat and my Instagram name. So if you want to look me up, find me, follow me, do all that fun stuff. Let me know what you think of this build. This build can be found in the gallery by searching North Pole. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun YouTube things. I'll catch all of you guys next time. Bye, everybody.